Back in 2010, during my second pregnancy, I had a near-death experience when I was giving birth. When that happened, right, I saw some things, heard some things during that process. And after undergoing that process, after surviving it, my gift started to open up even more, very wide open up, basically. The first instance that I realized that something had changed in me, right, was when I went to my uncle's funeral.
I really don't feel good. It's like getting a
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
So my uncle passed away, and the backstory about him is that before he passed away, he was a stroke victim. So he could not speak, could not move. All he could do was lie down and open his eyes, and he was like that for a year before he passed on. When we went to view the body, I was with my dad, and then I suddenly felt something poking me at the side. I was like, "What is that?" And then I turned, and then I didn't see him with my eyes. I saw him with my mind's eye, and it was my uncle lah. And he's like, Lynn, tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them. And it kept repeating in my mind. Nobody could hear it, but I could hear it inside of me. It's like, and I was thinking like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? He kind of pulled me to his children. His children, my cousins lah. So my cousins, they're like 10, 15 years older than me. So at that point of time, they were in their 40s, 50s lah. So, and I'm not that close to my cousins. So we don't usually talk about these things. So, and he kept bugging me throughout that funeral. I was really trying to ignore him, because I was thinking, am I going crazy? Am I nuts or what? So when I went to my cousins, and then he started to communicate, and then he was telling me to tell them I love them, tell them don't worry about me, Papa is okay, and all that lah. Because I had one cousin, right, who was crying throughout the entire funeral, and she was inconsolable lah, to put it mildly. And when she heard that message, she stopped crying. And she's like, Lynn, thank you. I needed to hear this. This is a story that I don't usually tell people because what happened within the family in 2005, right? I had just gone through my divorce, okay? And I had a baby with me lah. I had my first child with me. My ex at that time, not really a pleasant fella, okay? I found out that he was using a lot of barang lah, okay? But that was after the fact lah, because during our marriage, right, what happened was I would see things in the house that we lived in together, shadows, things flying and stuff like that, during my pregnancy and stuff like that lah. So I thought like, okay, I'm pregnant, maybe these hantus or what, they tend to disturb, right? But when after I divorced him, then I found out that actually it was his barang lah. When the divorce went through, everything went smoothly for me, thank God. I had full custody of my kid, and everything went well lah. And then basically I think at his side it was the losing end lah. After that, things started to happen. It happened, I think it started during the time when 2005, I started to have fever during one of the months. Fever for 4 days straight, and my fever was always hovering between 39 to 41 degrees. It got to a point that I was so weak, I couldn't get up. My sister had to bring me to the clinic and everything. They did blood tests, they did whatever test they did, nothing, they couldn't find anything. No, there was no reason. And then suddenly the fever went off. So I thought, okay lah, I recovered. But then after that, when I would go out with my friends, I would faint somewhere. I never faint. I'm not that kind of person that faints. So I would faint. In the middle of Orchard Road, I go out and bump, faint. Then I would be brought to healers and stuff like that. And then they'll be like, hey, you got something with you. Somebody sent you something. In the end, my mom also started to notice something was wrong. She decided to bring me to a healer. There's a well-known healer in Singapore. It's a healing clinic lah. The Malay Muslim community might know them. I won't say names lah. I went there a few times. Each time I went, they would chase away whatever it was, but it would come back. After that, my mom said, okay, this is not working out because every time they come, we have to pay them money lah. They have a fee, they have a standard fee to pay. So it's like roll and roll. And then finally, one of my friends said, hey, you can't be undergoing this for too long. I'll bring my sifu with me lah, my guru lah. I live on the 14th floor that time. Before he came, right, I was already feeling antsy, you know. And for no reason, I've never seen the guy. I don't know who he is. And the moment he stepped into the door, he came with a bunch of guys, big guys, came in. And then I looked at him, and then I looked at my window, and I wanted to jump out. I had no suicidal tendency at the time. I was just feeling so scared that I wanted to go. When the moment he touched my head, and that's when the thing came out. The jinn or whatever it is it's called. So he was interrogating the jinn, and he was saying like, who sent you? Who sent you? What are you doing here with this girl? What are you doing? Oh, I'm here to make her. The thing answered through my voice lah, but it was like, you know, not my voice lah, but through my vocals. And it's like, oh, I'm here to disturb her life. I'm here to make her life a misery. And then he asked, who's your master? And then after like a lot of arguing and fighting with this thing, right, it finally confessed that it was my ex. So it was like I was semi-conscious. I could hear everything that was going on. I could experience everything that was going on, but I could not control any part of my body. Yeah. But after that, when managed to get rid of this thing out of my body, right, the guru basically told me that, Lynn, you need to have protection with you. So he did the fencing on me lah. Okay. But he told me at the same time, what fencing I'm going to do for you is you are also going to have the ability to heal people in future. But this is 2005, and I was like 26, 27. I was like, what are you talking about? You know, like I already underwent this trauma, and then heal people with what? 2005, and then he's like, never mind, you will know. So when he did the fencing, he basically shook my hand, and I literally felt electricity pass through my hand. Okay, you like this. So yeah, so that was what happened, and then after that, my life went on as usual. Then when I got remarried, with the second pregnancy, as I said, I had the near-death experience lah, which we also figured that it might have been something to do with my ex lah, sending the thing, because it's constant. It's a constant thing lah. When they are tasked to do something, and these jinns are tasked to do something, they don't stop. Yeah. After that incident with finding out my abilities in 2010, and then moving forward, I had apart from my uncle coming to see me, right, I started to get visitations from all sorts of things because they knew I can see. So they wanted to communicate something, but I couldn't deal with it. I was like, oh my God, like I would have knocks on my cupboard at night. I have a wooden cupboard last time. Now I would hear tuk, tuk, tuk. And then I'm like, at 2 o'clock in the morning from inside my cupboard, no, you know. And then I would see shadows, and I would see things downstairs. Like whenever there's a funeral downstairs, right, especially those Chinese funerals, I would see the deceased auntie or uncle downstairs. And then but it's kind of funny because you would think that they look terrible. No, actually sometimes when you see them, right, they are not in a terrible state. They are like happy that they are free of their body that couldn't function anymore. So I had an auntie that was playing hide and seek with me that day. So one time I was coming back, there was a funeral at my block, and then I saw this head poking out like this, you know, from behind the wall, poke. And then it's an auntie's face lah. And then I was like, what's this thing? Then keep poking, right? poking, like peekaboo, this kind of thing. Then when I went to see the funeral, the picture there is the auntie lah. Speaking of happy, when my grandmother passed away in KL, right, I went there to her funeral. That was in 2012. Same thing happened. They had a mass for her at somebody's house, so they started to sing hymns and stuff like that for her, right? You know what she was doing? She was prancing around them, dancing, very happy. Like, hey, all her friends are there. Hey, everybody's here. Like, it's a party. So yeah, I mean, there are certain spirits that when they pass, it's quite sad lah. Like suicides that happen, right? They what you guys always say on the on the group, right? That they repeat their death, right? Yes, it does happen. I've seen that happen, and then I've seen those spirits that walk around aimlessly, like lost, really lost. They don't know what to do. They don't know. They're forever stuck in that mindset. So yeah, suicide, no.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.